You may think you know how to stop being lazy and make good habits. Most advice tells you to add more to your life, but the best change comes from taking things away. By the end of this, you'll know the 3 steps to change who you are. You'll see why what you're doing now isn't working and how to truly change yourself. You plan to do great things every morning, but end up wasting the day. This isn't laziness, it's your brain protecting an old version of you. When you don't feel motivated, it's because your brain wants to keep you the same. Think of your mind like a club bouncer. If you try to do things that don't match who you think you are, it stops you. All those tips you've tried haven't worked because your brain sees change as dangerous. It thinks becoming someone new is like dying. Your brain changes itself to stop you from doing things that don't fit who you are. It makes you feel bad when you try to be productive. When you try to exercise, your mind makes excuses. It's like there's a wall around your potential. I felt this when I tried to start a business. I'd plan everything, then waste time on social media. I thought I was lazy, but it was because I saw myself as an employee, not a business owner. Your brain makes these patterns by doing the same things over and over. Every time you choose the easy path, you make it easier to stay the same. The resistance you feel isn't random, it's a system. Imagine your identity is like a thermostat. You can open a window or light a fire, but the thermostat will always bring the temperature back. You can force yourself to do things for a while, but your mind will always go back to what's familiar. Understanding this is the first step. Most people try to fix the symptoms, but the problem is their identity. They add habits without changing who they are. Knowing about this identity thermostat explains why other advice hasn't worked. Once you know how your mind works, you can start to make real change. The biggest change I ever saw happened when someone disappeared from their old life for a month, not to add habits, but to remove their old self. Sarah, a marketing person, had trouble with procrastination for years. She didn't start a morning routine or download apps. She got rid of everything that reminded her of who she used to be. This means removing things that remind you of your old identity. Most advice tells you to build on what you already have, but that doesn't work because your environment keeps telling your brain to stay the same. Everything familiar reminds you of who you've been. True change happens when you create empty space where your old self used to be. Sarah took a month off and worked in a different city. She wasn't running away. She was removing the things that made her procrastinate. Without her office, her coffee shop, her routine, her brain stopped getting signals to stay the same. Removing triggers lets your brain stop defending your old self. Your mind relaxes when things around you change a lot. The pathways that made you resist things start to weaken. This makes room for real change instead of forcing yourself. Your environment affects your behavior more than willpower. Your surroundings are like hard drives for your identity. When you remove them, your brain has to change. The behaviors that felt automatic start to disappear. This can be scary because your brain sees it as losing yourself. You might feel worried, confused, or lost. That's okay. It means you're finally fixing the real problem. The discomfort means you're changing the system that kept you stuck. Sarah said the first week felt like floating in space. Her habits, social life, and thoughts changed without her trying. The empty space allowed her real self to come out. This isn't about running away, but creating a place where your true self can appear. When you remove the things that hold your old identity, you find skills and motivations that were always there. This helps you prepare for the struggles that come with real change. After 3 months of changing her identity, Sarah went back to her old office. Same face, same name, but she was completely different. She had a new identity that made good actions easy. The return is your biggest test. You have new pathways in your brain, but your old environment will try to pull you back. Your brain gets mixed signals. This will decide if your change is permanent or not. Design your environment and relationships to support your new self. Find the things that triggered your old habits and change them. Sarah rearranged her office, changed her morning, and set boundaries with people who expected her to procrastinate. Everything either helps your new identity or hurts it by bringing back old habits. When I came back from my own disappearance, I felt the disconnect. Friends and family treated me like the old me. They gave the same advice and expected the same things. I had to tell them I had changed and protect my new self. To make long term change, you need to keep strengthening your new identity. Your new behaviors need to match who you see yourself as. If you don't, old pathways can come back when familiar things trigger them. Your change can inspire others. People can tell when someone has truly changed. Your confidence and actions will make others question their own limits. True change affects everything, not just your behavior. You stop seeing problems as your fault and start seeing them as challenges that need a plan. Your relationship with difficulty changes because your identity doesn't depend on being comfortable. You now have the power to change who you are. This is freedom from the system that keeps people stuck. This journey is for anyone willing to question what they think they know about change. Your laziness wasn't permanent because it wasn't really laziness. It was an old identity protecting itself. Now you know how to change not just your habits, but who you are. Start your journey by removing one thing that reminds you of your old identity for a week. This will show you the power of changing who you are. Every hero starts as an ordinary person who realizes they were never ordinary. Your change is waiting on the other side of letting go of who you used to be.